Yes, Edward, I can hear you.
Hello?
Yes, I can hear you.
Yeah, sorry about that. Can we just do a full review on fluoroscopy, like from the beginning to the end? Just a quick
Sure.
quick 30-minute review just to get the basics out the way. So
Yeah,
that
we
way
don't
we
need we don't need 30 minutes, but I can give you 5 minutes, which is all you need for all the fluoroscopy. I'm gonna put an
okay.
image on the screen. First of all, I'm gonna put up the
Because I was looking at the study guide and it was pretty straightforward, but I just wanted to see if there was any like secondary information where we can just
promise you the study guide is exhaustive. So first, let me see midterm study guide.
'cause
Here we go.
no offense too, because the test we took today, you kind of it was like the test was easy, but you made it a little tricky. Like if you wasn't reading it properly, or if you didn't like take your time and really like analyze the question, you weren't gonna get it right. Even
This
though
is
the
true.
questions were pretty easy.
That's exactly right. That's exactly right. And I noticed, go ahead, Chris.
Did you spell medium? Uh, what was it one of the options? Medium cephalic vein? No, excuse me. Medial. Uh, what was? I think it was medium. It's median, but you spelled it with an M. Medium.
Median. I mean, for the blood vessel that's necessary
Yeah,
for
that
IV
Yes.
question,
injection.
Professor.
Yes.
Oh,
Was that intentional?
It
no,
was
I tried so
Okay.
hard not
Thank
to
you.
have any
Thank you.
typo on here. There was one typo I missed, it looks like. Is that what it is? Let me just see. It was that question. I see at least a couple people got that wrong too. I was watching the whole time and I was yelling at the computer screen, what are you doing? What are you doing? But regardless, let me see. The question was pretty straightforward. Let me see if I could find it. Even with, I'm sorry?
Sorry for interrupting you.
Hmm.
The question was asking which vein would you use for IVU. It didn't say which is the main vein, which is like the vein you're looking out for. That's why when you misspelled median cubital vein, I thought you were gonna that the answer was gonna be basilic vein because that would be the secondary option. But I put medium even though you spelled it wrong. But that's what kind of confused me a little bit.
All right, let me just see 1 second. Let me see. The blood vessel that it's right here. The blood. Oh my God. Is the M even close to the L? It's not even close to the L. That's crazy. That's not even close to the L. Medial cubital vein. All right, so it should say, okay, so in any case, the carotid vein, where's the carotid vein?
Neck.
In the neck, okay. And then intravenous injection, is that going to an artery or a vein?
A
Anybody?
vein.
A vein. So there's only one option. The other two are arteries. So, so, so if you look at it, and I did that on purpose, right? So if you look at it, because the way I try to do these quizzes is not just to let me see. Can you see the quiz? Is it on the screen?
Yes.
All right. The blood vessel is suitable for intravenous contrast. It's even in the name, intravenous, related to vein. So it can't be this, can't be this, and it can't be this. And this is in the neck. There's only one best option. I apologize about the spelling error, but there's no other option because this is an artery. That's an artery, and this is in the neck. All right, so even though there was a spelling error, I apologize for that, but I still think this is a fair question. Okay. All right. Fluoroscopy. First, let me pull up the study guide, and then we'll talk about fluoroscopy. Physics modules, midterm study guide. Here we go. All right. All right, so let's do this. Let's use this one. Is this one over here a flat panel detector, image intensifier? How do you know? Oh no. It's not going to be a class. It's going to be interactive. So you got to respond. Go ahead, Brianna.
I would guess that it is flat panel because it's more flat in shape.
Yeah, it doesn't have the little bulky tower up top, right? And where is the X-ray tube?
Underneath.
Underneath. Okay, good. What are some precautions you have to take when you're preparing the room for fluoroscopy, especially a room that has radiography capabilities? What are some things that you have to do to prepare the room? Let me use.
You'd have to move the buggy, which I'm not, or the grid under the table, and I kind of need an explanation as to why we're moving it from one side to the other, because that flew out of my head. And I know there's also a lead curtain, and then there's radiographic aprons that you could wear.
All right, so let me find a suitable room that has. Okay, it looks like I have to pull up the PowerPoint. Do I have to? No. Yes, I do actually. All right, let me pull up the PowerPoint. Give me 1 second. Modules. And then floral. All right, so can you see this PowerPoint that's on the screen? Yeah.
Yes.
So that's a bucket, table bucket. So you have to move it out the way, right? Because
Okay.
if you remember earlier when I put this up and I asked, and Brianna said that the X-ray tube is underneath the table. Edward, you listening? And so if remember this is a primary
Gotcha.
barrier. So if you don't move it out the way, it's going to block the path of the X-rays from underneath the table to the image receptor. Sounds good?
Yes, thank you.
All right, you're welcome. And okay, so you got to move that out of the way. What else do you have to do to prepare the room? Go ahead, Brianna.
So usually in these rooms, there will be a separate tube for the wall bucky, so you have to like make sure it's parked. Well, I don't know if it's like that in every room, but at the site that I'm at now, like you have to park the one for the wall bucky and then you can use the fluoro.
Yes, so you have to move the routine X-ray tube out of the way. This one over
Right.
here. Got you. Fantastic. What else do we have to do? Anybody can answer, so we can make use of the time. I am here for 50 minutes more. Clean it. Yeah, for sure. That's expected. You gotta clean it, right? But anything else to prepare the room? No idea. All right. You gotta put the leg curtain on. You gotta put the foot rest on. Have to make sure the bulky slot cover is completely closed. All right. What's the purpose of the image intensifier? To do? Why do we need one?
It's to brighten the image.
Brighten the image. Okay, fantastic. What can you tell me about the difference with technique settings for fluoro versus routine radiography? I see you, Roxanne. No idea. Oh no. Go ahead, Ashley.
Fluoro uses lower techniques, right? Because it's on for longer.
I think you're saying the right thing. Be more specific. Which part of the technique or which aspect of the technique is lower in fluoro?
The MA?
MA, there you go. Because these are longer exposure times, right? All right, cool. And then if you're doing mobile fluoro, what's the best place to stand? I see you, Roxanne.
6 feet.
I guess so, sure. But if you're, say you have to position the tube for a lateral image, right? Where would you stand?
Behind the tube.
Behind the tube? Not at all. Not at all. Go ahead, Edward.
Behind the panel or the image intensifier.
Yeah. So if we look at, let's see, this one.
Would it be wrong if I said flat panel instead of image intensifier?
It doesn't
It's the
matter.
same thing.
Behind the image receptor is fine. So if you're
Okay.
doing a mobile, this is where you get the least amount of radiation. This is the image intensifier right here. Least amount of radiation. This is the X-ray tube over here. If you're doing a fixed fluoro, I mean, you won't be here anyways, but this is the best path for you to stand behind the lead curtain. What about the SSD? What does SSD mean? What does SSD mean? SSD. Any idea? Floor skin distance. Nicely done, Edward. Now, what's the minimum SSD for mobile? Minimum SSD for mobile.
Oh, is this like 30 inches? I don't remember.
Not 13, not 30 at all. Not 30 centimeters. Give it to me. Tell me in inches, Lee. Because actually, you know what? The register might be in SI units, so that's a good thing to know. So 12 inches for mobile, 15 inches for fixed. All right. So what are the parts of the image intensifier? Does anybody know?
I'm sorry. Did you say 12 for mobile and then 15 for fixed?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. What are the parts of the image intensifier? Go ahead, Edward.
So there's scintillation layer, a photodiode, a scintillation layer made of gallidium or scallidium. It starts with a G. Then the photodiode that's made of amorphous silicone. Then the CCD layer that
Wait,
reads the
what?
image.
Wait. Image intensifier, right?
Yeah, image intensifier. Excuse me. And
So
ADC.
this bit here.
Yeah.
Be careful. Be careful.
Yeah. So input phosphor, photocathode, and then doesn't it go up to the image intensifier through fluxation or something like that?
That's not how I would say it. All right. So all I can say is, wait, somebody said, yeah. Go ahead, Brianna.
Yeah, I would also like to add electrostatic lenses, the anode and the output phosphor.
There you go. There you go. Make sure you know this. So what happens at the input phosphor? What kind of conversion happens at the input phosphor? Go ahead, Brianna.
X-ray to light.
And what happens next?
I think the light to electron.
Very good. And how do we focus the electrons?
Oh, there's those mirrors on the side. I forgot what they were called. Not focusing lenses.
Using the electrostatic lenses.
Yeah,
Yeah.
very good. And then what happens? What happens after that? What's the next conversion process?
Analog to the digital or the CCD?
Before that?
Uh,
It's attracted by the anode.
Check to the body anode, but there's an energy conversion that happens at the output phosphor. What happens here?
Electrons back to light.
Electron to
So light to electrical signal.
Be careful. All right, so input phosphor, I'll just say it for you. Input phosphor is X-rays to light. Photocathode is light to electrons. So these are electrons. And then at the output phosphor is electrons back to light. Make sure you know this. How do we reduce patient exposure? What are some steps we take to reduce patient exposure?
Calmation.
Uh, no. What are some techniques that we use?
Pulsed fluoro.
Pulse floor, yeah.
Pulsed fluoro, fantastic. So if you're looking at the pulse, the graph of the pulse fluoro, what are the parts of that little graph?
What are the what?
You said a graph?
Yeah, I guess I draw this on the screen or some kind of diagram. If I draw this on the screen, this is pulse fluoro. It's pulsating, right? It's not continuous. This one has a name. Actually, let me do an arrow. And this one has a name in green. Go ahead, Roxanne. This one has a
Is
name.
that the pulse interval and the pulse width?
Fantastic. Now you're going to tell me which is which. Just 1 second. Let me get the right size arrow here. All right, so this one here in green has a name.
That's
This one
going to be the pulse width.
Good. And then that's another one, purple. Nicely done.
Pulse interval.
This one in purple. So what's this
No,
one?
well, no, that wouldn't be. Oh, I'm sorry. So the purple would be flux gain in the bottom. No.
It's this. How would you? Okay, if you're just looking at this and you're describing it to an alien, you would say that this is off the ground. There's some height here, right? So that's the easiest way to remember. It's a pulse height. This is a
Okay.
pulse interval. Pulse width, height, interval. Think of it like a box. That's the. Go ahead, Wan Ling Lee.
I just have a question. So is this similar with when we learn physics for the regular X-ray unit? Like it's like similar to the frequency, wavelength, and that kind of stuff?
Oh, I see. When you look at 1 second.
Yeah, when we look at it, like can we, because the pattern looks similar, but one is using like the boxes and then the other one is like a sinusoidal wave, but they
So
the
you're
method
referring
they work and they're referring to, it's like similar, right?
kind of, except with waves you have wavelength and so on, right? There's no interval between the waves. There's no width, but there's an amplitude. That's the only thing that's similar is amplitude.
Amplitude, we can think it as like the pulse height, right?
Yes, you can think
Okay.
of the pulse height. Yes, you can. But in the textbook, they refer to it as pulse height, not pulse amplitude. Right? Okay. What else do we do to minimize patient dose? So using pulse mode is one way. What else do we do? Now's where you ask your questions, guys. Right now. Right now. What else do we do?
Filtration?
Filtration. Mm-mm.
No.
You got no control over that. You got no control over that. All right, so this is on. Go ahead, Edward. If you're speaking, you're muted.
Sorry, I have a question. Does lower MA count or no?
It's going to use lower MA regardless. A couple things that you do. Pulse mode. I laid this out, I think, and it's on its own slide, by the way. Brianna, what you got?
Would you use shielding to the part that isn't being irradiated?
I guess so. But just speaking about operating the machine. So another thing we do is last image hold. Guys, remember talking about this? It's like a frame grab. You freeze frame the image, and that obviates the need for taking a spot film, right? So pulse fluoroscopy is one thing. Last image hold is another one. Where did I put it on here? And avoid magnification. Avoid magnification mode, because that uses less of the input phosphor. And as a result, you have to increase the exposure to get the same brightness.
You just said magnification mode, Professor?
Avoid magnification mode.
Avoid magnification.
Yeah. Avoid magnification mode.
Sorry, Professor. And this was all in what you were asking about how to avoid high patient patient overexposure. Just
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. As far as formula, somebody asked about formulas. Give me a second. Somebody asked about. Okay, here we go. So it's all on this slide right here. Last image hold. Avoid the use of magnification and use pulse mode. It's all on this slide. This PowerPoint is only 27 slides long. Plus, there are a plethora of videos you can watch on Global Learning to be ready for this. What else would you guys like to know about this? As far as the formulas, I think it was John who asked about the formulas.
Yes, sir.
What I can tell you is, if you take your time, you know what I find? The people who do really well on the exam use as much time as they can. And then there are others who come out in 45 minutes, 50 minutes, and they don't do so well. There's a difference with being confident and understanding the content, right? You can feel good about it, but the exam doesn't care about your feelings. You got to take your time and review it. So even if you think you picked the right answer, it's okay to take your time and review it. When you're in the registry, you cannot just rush out, because then you'll skip tiny details that would make the question right or wrong, right? All right, so I find that it's, and especially one person who got a really good score, they were there and I thought they would never leave, which is interesting. But they took their time, which is fantastic. You had 3 hours to do this. This one, I think I'm giving you, it's not 3 hours, it's 2 hours for this one, but it's less questions. 90 questions, 2 hours. All right, so as far as the formulas, back to John's question. I wouldn't ask you to calculate flux gain, but you got to know what it is. Right? You got to know what it is. Minification gain, the formula is right here. It's basically just, go ahead, Wanling.
Oh, just a suggestion. So if you have math questions, could you please let the people know that we need calculators for the
There will be a calculator on the screen.
on the oh, so we're gonna use the okay, got you. Thank you.
Yeah, you are welcome. There will be a calculator on the screen. I've allowed it on the screen already. I'm pretty sure I did. But you know what? Since you mentioned that, let me just verify just to make sure.
Could you please put the calculation thing on the mock quiz you give us so that we can test on it to see if it works?
For physics, for the calculator? Yeah, sure.
Yes, yes.
Oh, why not? Quizzes. And this is the midterm. And then let's do. Okay. Can't do that because then you'd see the quiz. That would be terrible. So, any other questions while I'm here? I have 34 minutes. Any other questions? Settings. Yes, there is a calculator, a basic calculator. And then let me do the mock quiz. And I will turn on the calculator right now. That is a good idea, actually. And so allow calculator is now on for the practice quiz. You can go ahead and try that.
Thank you. And I have questions for regarding the fluoroscopy. So you just mentioned about post and continuous. And how about the third one? I remember there's an intermittent one. So what is the difference between those three?
Okay, beautiful. So intermittent is almost like continuous, but then the radiologist it removes their hand or their foot from the button, right? So so they can press it. It's almost like when you turn the light on, you're pulsing the beam, not the machine. It's not as effective as pulse. It can be used sparingly or not, but it's dependent on user, right? So if you think of intermittent, think of continuous as the light is always on. So you turn the light on, the machine doesn't care, it's just going to zap the patient continuously. Pulse mode, while the switch is on, it's pulsating, like your light that flickers. Intermittent mode, it depends on the user. So he or she can keep their foot or hand on the exposure button, and as long as they have their hand on it, the patient's exposed. Can be used sparingly, might not, but it's dependent on the user practices.
So intermittent, it's like you manipulate the tube manually, and then post and continue are like automatic exposure technique. Is that correct?
You could say automatic, yes. So with if I should, let me share the screen. Give me 1 second. Share one. So imagine if I do pulse. Let me do continuous first. So just a graph of exposure. So continuous. So once the individual activates the exposure switch, the machine, as long as they have their hand on the dead man switch, the patient will get a constant exposure. Right, so it's continuous. Actually, let me do this. Stop share whiteboard. All right, do this instead. So this is continuous I'm drawing first. As long as the individual has their hand or foot on the cursors are hidden on the exposure button, they'll get a continuous exposure, right? For pulse, they can still use the dead man switch, but instead of continuous exposure, the machine does one of these. Beam on, beam off, beam on, beam off. With intermittent, I'm going to draw this in blue or purple. I think that's purple. It still be a continuous beam, but let's say the individual wants to keep exposing for 4 seconds, right? Then don't draw on the screen, please. And then they take their hand or foot off the exposure button, it will stop. Then they think, oh, I need more images. They can start right after that again. So the interval, so to speak, would be dependent on the user. Whereas pulse, it's set in the machine. Go ahead, Edward.
Are we going to need to know the procedures in which we need to use a continuous beam and pulse beam? Like, because I was reading somewhere that they use like a pulse beam for like if they're doing procedures where like the kidney stones, but if it's like a cystography or I can't pronounce.
That's not universal. It depends on the department, so that would be unusual to ask that kind of question. So you might go to one place and they use pulse beam for one procedure, and one doctor in the same place might do a different thing. So that would not be a universal thing. I don't think that's in the text either, but it's a good question. Before I answer you, Roxanne, Lee, are you clear with this now?
Yes, but go back to the Deadman type of exposure switch. But all type of fluoroscopy use Deadman type of exposure switch.
Yeah.
Okay, so for the continuous, you press that button and then you just hold on to it, and then it will have like the continuous switch.
Yes.
And then for intermittent, you don't have to hold on to the button. You let's say you turn it on and then you use a foot pedal.
No, it's the same. It's the same exposure switch. It doesn't matter. All it's saying is it's just a method of exposing. That's all it is. By far, the most efficient is this one.
Okay.
Because the machine, you can tell what the exposure is going to be. This one's unpredictable. It just depends on if the practitioner raises their foot or hand off the exposure.
Okay. And the technique that that you're gonna use is like something similar with the regular X-ray. They have like a technique chart, like kind of built in a system, and then when you select the the study that you were going to do, and then the system will preset it for you. Is that right?
So depending on where you are,
Oh.
they might have a chart on the wall. And it will say, for this
mm.
procedure, use 30 frames per second. For this one, use 16 frames per second. Or a doctor might say, I prefer this FPS or this pulse mode, that kind of thing. But it will be on the wall, and you just follow what the tech or the
Okay.
doctor asks you to do. Go ahead, Roxanne, then Chris.
So I have a question regarding the ABC
Yeah.
feature in Floral.
Mhm.
A question, like a type question that would say, does the ABC or automatic brightness control add to patient dose? Would that be right? It would be true or false? Like, does it?
Where do you get this question?
No, I'm just asking.
If it adds to patient dose, ABC, what does ABC mean?
Automatic brightness control.
What is it for?
So isn't it used based on like the density of the part that they're fluoroscoping, and adjusts the brightness? But brightness is just light. Bright is not associated with KVP or tube current. That's what
You're
I
on a
want to
really,
know, if they
you're on
have
a-
any correlation.
you have a really good path, right? You're on a really good path here. So ABC and AERC, they both control the brightness that you see on the screen by varying MA and or KVP. So it's actually a dose saving feature.
Okay.
All right. So if you use it right, if you use it in the correct way, it's the dose saving feature. Now, the problem is if you don't use it right, just like AEC can be a problem. So if you don't center correctly, it can be a problem. If you expose a body part unnecessarily, it can be a problem. All right. Before I get to you, Brianna, Chris, you got your hand up? Wait 1 second. Roxanne, are you satisfied with that response?
Yeah.
All
Thank
right.
you.
You're welcome. Chris, did you have your hand up?
Yes, thank you, Professor. So for the forms of exposure, the most efficient is the pulse, correct?
Mm-hmm.
And do they all use last image hold?
If all machines use it, I don't think all machines use it, but that is the industry standard. And this is a technique that's designed to prevent unnecessary exposure because you have a frame grab of the last thing that you're looking at.
Right. Okay. Understood. Thank you.
All right. Yeah, you're welcome. So imagine if you're shooting a movie and you don't remember what the last scene was. Instead of wasting more film, you can just look on the screen and see, okay, that was where we are. Let's continue from here. Brianna, what do you got?
Okay, so ABC has to do with brightness maintenance, correct?
Yeah.
Okay, can you further explain what brightness maintenance is?
Okay, sure. So remember that, let me see, do I have a picture of the image intensifier here? Yes, I do. So remember, flux gain has to do with how much light we get from each X-ray photon, right? And the reason that's important is, remember this term, quantum mottle? Brianna, you can just stay unmuted because I'm going to ask you a bunch of questions.
Okay.
Do you remember this term, quantum mottle?
Yes.
All right. So basically, it's when there's not enough receptor exposure, right?
Right.
Okay, good. Now imagine we want to expose this person's whole abdomen, but we're using a low amount of MA. So if we were taking a picture of someone's abdomen with the same MA setting that we use for fluoro, but we're doing that for X-ray, you can imagine we'd have a lot of quantum mottle. Well, the image intensifier solves that problem with flux gain, right? The problem is, just like you would if you're doing someone's chest, you don't need a high MA. You maybe need 4 MA or 4 MAS or something. You might even use, for an abdomen, maybe 25 MAS, right? The reason you do that is because the body part's thicker. Well, how does the machine compensate for that? In fluoro, if you move to a thicker body part, do I have a human body on here? If you move to a thicker body part, let's say the abdomen versus the shoulder, the machine now has to increase the technique values to maintain the brightness so you can see the image, right? So if I look at, let me see this one here. You see how the image kind of change, the brightness changes, even though this artifact is showing something else. You see how the brightness changes on this little GIF. Brianna.
Oh, I can't see anything.
Oh no,
No.
Just see ourselves.
sorry. I thought I was showing some of this here. Thank you. All right, do you see how the brightness changes here on the screen? Just slightly. Not a good example, but you see how
Yeah.
it kind of changes. Okay, good. So that's because you're moving from one part to another, right? One thick body part to a thin body part and vice versa. And the machine has to compensate for that in real time, right? With X-ray, you're making the changes with AEC. With fluor, it's in real time, dynamic images. So to maintain constant brightness or near constant brightness, the machine recognizes, oh, this is a thicker body part. I have to know, use higher MA settings or increase the KVP to maintain the brightness. That's because the brightness is a function of how much light we get in response to X-ray stimulus. This is in essence what flux gain is. I had this image up earlier, so let me just say it once more because I didn't have the image earlier, right? So quantum matter, like I said, is as a result of low receptor exposure. And because we're using low MA settings, remember MA is directly proportional to X-ray photons. So more X-ray, higher MA gives you more photons, right? And the reverse is true. So low MA settings give you low photons. That would not be enough to create an image. So the image intensifier, well, solves that problem via flux gain. So we get way more light photons created per X-ray photon than you would in routine X-ray. This is why it's acceptable to use low MA settings and still get a good image. Well, how do we compensate for the brightness or the lack thereof with ICU Roxanne from low MA settings? Well, we use flux gain and we use ABC and AERC to maintain constant brightness. Before I get you, Roxanne, Brianna, is that good?
Yes. So the ABC, it's like constantly like changing KVP and MAS depending on what body
MA.
part it's on.
MA, you're controlling the time. MA.
MA. Right. Okay. All right. Yeah.
Right.
Makes sense. Thank you.
Just be careful. I see you 1 second. Get Roxanne and Layla. Just be careful, everyone. It's not AEC, whereas AEC controls off the time. ABC, AERC controls the KV and the MA. All right, Roxanne, then Layla, then Chris.
And just to confirm on that part as well, this happens once this happens in the beginning. So when I say beginning, once the remnant beam leaves the patient and it goes to the input phosphor, this idea of flux gain happens at that stage when the remnant beam passes through the input phosphor, but before it goes to the photocathode.
No.
No?
No. So take a look here. If the conversion process had stopped here, this would not be nearly enough light photons to create an image. But because we're using minification and focusing the electrons to a focal point, we have flux gain. And as a result, because of that concentration, we have a concentrated beam, which results in more light photons at the X-ray, at the output phosphor. You don't have to know it in that much detail, but in essence, we have to find a way to get more bang for your buck, is how I said in class, right? Because this would not be enough to create a useful image. All right? Do you understand or no? Oh no, I lost you.
Yes.
All
I
right.
got it.
Layla, then Chris.
Hi, I just had a question about the X-ray tube from our first test.
X-ray tube. Okay, not this one. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I was just reviewing the test and I was just a little confused about this one question.
Yeah, I'll pull it
It
up right now.
was asking about how heat is removed from X-ray, how heat is removed from the X-ray production through convection. And I was under the impression that it was through the cooling oil bath, but the answer was by the fans. But I thought that was radiation.
Which one of the quiz? Is it this one?
I think it was the very first one.
The one that everybody complained about?
Yes.
X-ray 1 second. Quiz 1. It's got to be this one, right? It's got to be this one. And let's see if we can.
It's question number 50.
Okay, thank you. Oh no. We'll do preview instead, and then that will give me a number. Okay, beautiful. And then over here we can do 50, 50. This one. Heat from the X-ray. This one here.
Yes.
From the X-ray is rose through convection by heat traveling through tube to heat on it. Nope. Followed by I see. I see. I see. So what did the question what did the answer say?
It said the answer was by the tube into the room by cooling fans. But I thought that was how heat was removed through radiation.
Yeah. So strictly I think some textbooks define convection as how heat moves through air or liquids. The way how I learned it many years ago, it was just through liquids, and that was
Right,
through air,
yeah.
it's radiation. But some textbooks, if I bet you if you look up convection,
Mm-hmm.
it will say yeah, through liquid or gas. In which case there would be two possible responses.
And in that case, it would be the fans?
Convection is through liquids, is how I understood it, right?
Right.
And
But for
then
like the sake of the exam, that
it,
wasn't correct. So
yeah, but that quiz was thrown out anyways. I don't think you
no,
wanted
yeah, I
to.
wasn't worried about it like as a grade. I was just curious to know if that were to like if that question were to come back up, would that happen again? Like would
No,
it
no, because I write all these questions myself. That one I didn't write.
Oh, okay.
So I'm aware of this contradiction, because in some textbooks they just refer to convection as how heat moves through liquids, where the oil bath is how it cools the tube, and then the air around the room is how it cools it by radiation. I'm aware of this. So if I write
Okay.
a similar question, it will be clear.
Okay.
Right?
And I just have one more question, and maybe this was also an error, or if not, could you explain it to me? For question number 66, it says when filament electrons enter the anode, they interact with, and I thought it was outer shell electrons, so that way the cascade effect would occur and it would fill the vacancy.
It's both.
Okay, so, but yeah, because the answer,
It's
I'm
both.
sorry, I thought it was
Ideally,
inner shell, but the
yeah, it's
answer
both.
was outer shell.
It's both. It can be either. It can be either.
Okay, but like for the exam though.
I would not put a question like that. That was taken from the textbook. I think I explained this. Did you watch the YouTube video I make, Layla? Say yes. No, you didn't watch it. You didn't watch it.
The one that I watched was only 13 minutes long, so I didn't see
No, I made
anything.
another one, a screen recording where I went
There
over
was
the
another
quiz.
one?
Yeah, there is.
Hmm.
And we're
I didn't see that one.
I explained this one. That's okay. Actually, it's
Okay.
not okay. It's not okay, but it's fine. Go ahead, Chris. You got a question?
Yes, thanks, Professor. So AEC controls time, ABC and AERC controls MA only.
And or KB.
So which one does only MA?
None of them. It can be
Okay,
both.
so they both vary,
Yeah.
MA and KV.
And or KV, yes.
And or KV.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Perfect.
I'm sorry. Chris, can you repeat that, please? A little slower.
So
Thank you.
said so like AEC controls time, ABC and AERC controls MA and or KV.
Yeah. And so there's actually a beautiful video on here that
Thank you.
explains that right here. Right here. Oh, Layla, you ready for this? Check this out. 2 videos. Bam, bam. This one is a screen recording where I went over the quiz. All right. And it's
And that's on the physics, Professor?
It's an hour, yeah, hour and 13 minutes long. The audio isn't as good because I did it in New York, but it's fine. And this is the other one that is 13 minutes. You probably saw that one. Let me see. Oh, they're both there. In any case, it's on the channel, so it's fine. All right, any other questions? Why did I post these?
Professor, can you go over again what you was going over before earlier with Roxanne about the pulse interval and the switch on a graph? Like if you was to show a graph on a test and you was to ask us where's the width, where's the interval, you was drawing
Yeah.
something out.
Yeah. 1 second, let me just do this. Let me just show this before. Okay, here we go. So Chris, you ready? Automatic brightness stabilization, automatic dose control, automatic dose rate control, and automatic exposure rate control. They're all the same thing. So automatic brightness control, right? No matter what it's called, ABC serves to automatically adjust exposure factors like KV and MA, KVP and MA. Chris, are you seeing the screen? Say yes.
Yes, Professor.
All right, cool. Beautiful video here. Fantastic video. Fantastic video. I don't think we did the quiz on this. We probably should. All right, so let's look at this. Actually, you know what? Here's what we'll do. You ready? Pulse. I don't see how. Who was the person who asked that question, by the way?
About the intervals, Alex?
Yeah, Alex. All right. All right, so what I have on here, Alex, is just a diagram of the pulse mode of the fluoro, right? So these red bars represent the beam on time. So the individual will have their hand or foot on the exposure button.
Okay.
And while it's on, it's pulsating. You ever seen those movies where the light flickers? Think of it like that. The switch is on, but the light is still flickering, cyclic on and
Yeah.
off. That's basically what's happening. So even though your hand is on the exposure button continuously, i.e. the light is on, the exposure is fluctuating between on and off.
Okay, I see.
Periods between each pulse, and this is happening in multiple frames per second, right? Could be 30 frames per second, could be higher, could be lower. The time between beam on is X-ray interval. Interval just means between. How long the beam is on for each pulse is pulse width. The intensity or the dose is the pulse height. Pulse height.
Okay. The intensity.
Sounds good?
Yeah.
Great.
I got it.
Any other questions? I have 5 minutes. Any other questions? Any other
Professor, I have a question.
Yes, what do you got?
If it like, I'm not sure if you're gonna use any question about the protective curtains or Bucky-Slow covers from radiation protection. Do we need to know?
You mean this slide that's on here
Yes.
with the 6 items?
Yes.
You need to. I would
Sure.
say it's good to know this.
Good.
It's good
Thank
to know
you.
this.
Thank you.
Regardless if I put it on the PowerPoint on the study guide or not, this is good information, and it's
Oh,
summarized
yes.
on one slide for you.
Thank you.
You will need this for the registry without a
Yes.
doubt.
Thank you.
All right.
Professor McGibbon, for the inverse square law, do you want us to know the formula or are we actually calculating the formula? I mean, will we be like actually doing math or just we need to
I
just know
can't
the
say that,
equation?
but did I put it on the study guide?
You did. You put inverse
Yeah.
square law.
Yeah.
So
There
are
you
we
go.
going to have calculators?
Yeah, calculators will be on the screen.
Okay. All right.
Calculator will be on the screen, a basic calculator. Any other questions? I have.
Anybody check that calculator yet? Does it work? I haven't checked it.
You can
I know
check it right now. It's on.
Yeah.
Do you know how to do it?
No, how do you do it?
There is a. Let me see. I will view a student. So I'm in physics right now. Can you see my screen? Okay. And then practice physics quiz right here.
Your screen's not showing.
Oh, good. I am in student mode. Let me go back to home. And if you go to quizzes, you will see physics practice quiz. And you gotta use, what do you call it? Responders to do it. And a calculator should be visible. There it is at the top.
Got it. Okay.
So it automatically pops up.
Thank you.
Yeah. No, you gotta
Oh.
you gotta click it. It's gonna be right at the top here.
Oh, okay. Let me check it.
I don't think you need a scientific calculator, right? Do you? I don't think you do. Any other questions? I have 4 minutes. Any other questions?
What do you think we should look into?
You should look into more crypto. No, not really. What you should look into is a study guide. It's a study guide.
Nice one.
Don't buy crypto at all. Lose your money. All right. So if I can give you any pointers, the quiz is going to be in a similar format that it was today. If you don't read the questions carefully, you will miss easy points, without a doubt. Without a doubt. All right, it's just 90 questions, but you gotta make sure you read it properly. Go ahead, Chris. What do you got?
So the 4 statements are true. Is that a registry style question?
I don't know.
That was just freestyle. Okay.
Yeah, I don't know if it is, but it's I like it. You know why? Because it forces you to think. And then what happens is you just expect a true or false or select A or select B type thing, and then you just go by memory. But these ones, you really have to think about it. I like that. It stretches your brain. Wandling, what do you got?
Oh, I have a question for the select all that apply or select 3 or 4 questions are correct. So if I am unsure about question, like the answers, so if I choose the answers that I know it's surely right, then I can still get like partial of this the score, right?
Yes, if there are 6 options and I say select 4. First of all, if I do these quizzes and the question is worth 4 points, you should select 4. You should select 4 things. If you select 5, even if the first 4 are correct, it will deduct 1 mark. If you select 2 right and 2 wrong, you will get 0.
Okay. It's the registry using the same method. Like if
I think the registry is all or nothing.
it's all or nothing.
Yeah.
For the registry. Oh.
Yeah, that's my understanding.
Okay.
So you're actually getting away with murder here. The registry is, if you don't pick everything, I think it's wrong. Which is how you should approach this regardless. So that's actually worse than this, right? So even if you picked 2 right, by that logic, you wouldn't get any points. But at least on this one, you're getting partial points because I want you to learn the material. Any other questions? I'm going to turn on the scientific calculator for this. Any other questions? Otherwise, you are free to go.
Thank you, Professor.
Thank you, everyone.